The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Welcome to our final episode of Opie's Connection, Connecting to the Unknown. What a ride it has been, no?
It's been a ride.
Wow, so many explorations in so many different capacities. I'm honored to really kind of hold space with you and your beautiful souls as well.
We're here. We made it.
You know, I think the most important part of my work, though, is supporting people with grief. I think this is the hardest part of my work, but also the most rewarding. A lot of people experience overhauls, life-changing experiences, rebuilding our entire self, our identity, our life purpose, when we lose those that we love. Mm-hmm. It is the most crippling experience in a lot of ways, emotionally traumatic, but there is also a lot of opportunity that comes from this.
I can't wait to hear more.
Well, you know, I wanted to really take time to support individuals on their experience with grief. A lot of times people have expectations with grief, and I just want you to know, please throw out the rule book. There is highs, there's lows, and it can trickle into all different aspects of our life for many, many years. And that can be a positive or that can be a negative by your choice. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing for me is supporting people in holding space in their emotions, in holding space in that process and really honoring the connection that they held with their loved one. It's such a gift to have experienced that depth of unconditional love, that connection, and those memories with someone you experience this life with. So with that, I want you to know the first year is very challenging. There's a lot of chaos that happens. There's a lot of survival mode that kicks in. And a lot of times we distract by caring for others, for tending to other people's needs, for deflecting or fixating on something to kind of dissipate the pain, because if we connect to it, it becomes so overwhelming, we don't know how to function anymore. Mm-hmm. I want you to know there's a lot of support around you during this time, and later on as you go in your journey, this kind of dissipates a bit. People move on with their lives, but you're still kind of in this process. You're still holding connection and a lot of emotion to this, and I just want you to know that it's okay to feel highs and lows. A lot of people have a hard time moving through the depths of that emotion.
So your role not only is to connect with their loved ones, but also to support people on their grieving.
Yes, and a lot of people come to psychic mediums for closure. Unfortunately, we can only provide so much. Closure really comes from us. A lot of times we expect a closure moment in the time prior to our loved one passing, and a lot of times we don't receive that. Surprises happen, different incidences, and I just want you to know you can create that for yourself, but the big thing is to choose positive ways to engage in grief, positive ways to honor your loved one, and not disconnect and not get distracted by things that can really hurt you in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Are there things that we can do to honor our loved ones?
Oh, yes, there's so many, and thank you for asking that. That's such a beautiful question. There's so many ways to honor a loved one, even just thinking of them and speaking of them, sharing stories. Spirit always loves to show me when somebody looks through a photo album or puts new pictures up or different memories with certain pictures. I'll never forget one time I had a very special client of mine, and I told them, I don't know how to share this, but I'm getting a visual of Twizzlers coming out of this person's mouth and nose, and it was very awkward because how do you communicate that? And the loved one burst out laughing because that was their last picture taken with that beautiful soul. And that to me just showed the power of being able to connect that piece, that validation, and that memory that Spirit wants us to hold on to.
Yeah, it really sounds like Spirit wants us to honor them and remember them and talk about them.
Absolutely. And I don't want you to get stuck in the emotion either, okay? It's very important for us to remember it's a positive thing to hold space for grief. I want you to be able to create space for that, but not get stuck in it. And a great way to move through these things is allow yourself movement. Walking outside, connecting to the outdoors, that's a beautiful thing to help support your energy. Writing letters, whether they're anger, frustration, just scribbling out, pen to paper. I cannot emphasize that enough. This is not texting in our phones. This is not doing it on the computer. This is pen to paper, because our brain needs to be able to understand what we're trying to process. So write down what you need them to hear, what you wish did occur, what you are angry about, how deep your pain is, what you need them to know. I want you to connect through the paper to your loved ones. Sharing laughter. A lot of times when we get low, listening to music will help support you. Watching that funny movie will make you laugh so much.
Thank you for sharing these.
Yes, these are great things that we can do at any point, really, but
Yeah.
especially when we are engaging and needing support through grief process. And a lot of times we want to support those around us. I find that some people, just growing up and the communication I heard, people would be saying things as though people should move on after a certain point. They should start dating after a certain point. They should not be as upset as they once were at a certain point. And I encourage people to shift that belief system, to shift that perspective, because there is always space to hold of a loved one. It's not somebody's right to dictate how somebody should process this. There can be chaos, there can be unexpected behaviors from somebody, and not to hold that against them through this journey. It is kind of rebuilding who we are, and when our soul's ripped apart, sometimes we don't function as we once did.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't really know how to respond to someone who's grieving.
Yeah, sometimes there's a lot of fear in communicating and engaging in that. Sometimes there's the unknown of how to bring words forward, which is interesting for myself, because even though this is my work and I communicate this in all aspects of my day, when it comes back to my personal life, I find it very hard, even for me, to be able to provide that peace of mind, to be able to give those pieces to support somebody. But in the end, that's not our role to take that pain away. That's not our role to take that processing away. It's our role to honor it, to know that they are normal feeling this, and you walk with them in this. You honor where they are at with this, and you hold no judgment, and they need to know that they are loved for where they are. Yes, it's very important, because a lot of people put expectations around this, and that's something that can be very damaging.
Sounds like everybody has their own way of grieving, and the best thing that we can all do is to provide a safe space.
Yes. And the beautiful thing is, too, you can encourage people around you, for example, children as well. They want to protect our parents or those that they love from feeling those experiences, but giving them the opportunity to empower their voice and express it either by coloring, art, or letters is a great tool as well. I would love to know how you found your journey with grief, how you found the choices that were right for you in moving through it. And if you ever need support with it, know I am here for you, and I look forward to connecting to you.
All right, so I'm connecting over here. Okay. He's laughing right now. How are you doing? Okay, so I have the husband standing forward, and he's laughing because he's like, look at how much has changed. Does that make sense? Stand up, my friends. Are you daughter?
No, sister.
Sister, okay, because it's family. And are you the family friend? No? How are you connected?
We just met.
Oh, you just met? That's so funny. Well, you could have been. You could have joined that, eh? Okay, so let me just see here. Can you say your husband's name?
Curtis.
Curtis, okay. Were you kind of rocked with the story from her about connecting to me? Because you came to my office, right? And you were like, no way. No way he said that. There's no way she knew that. Does that make sense?
Well, I connected with you before and told her.
No way. So you were the no way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny because he's laughing. He's like, Opie, this is happening. And I was like, oh, okay. So are we doing better now?
Yeah.
Okay. He's showing me that we're able to get up every day.
Yes. Actually, since I talked to you,
Yeah.
because
You
now
couldn't get out of bed, right?
I could, but it was just I had no desire for things because I thought this was the end of the road.
Yeah.
And you showed me that he was there
Good.
and gave me strength.
Good. And you talk to him in the kitchen a lot, hey?
I talk to him all the time.
Right?
Everywhere.
He's laughing because it's like you're cooking in the kitchen and you're doing things and he's talking and it's just like he's there again. Does that make sense? And he's thanking you for receiving that.
Oh.
And he thanks you for connecting that because it was kind of the gift of life for her. Does that make sense? Okay. Sorry, are you getting a lot of the doors in your house? Like I keep hearing bangs in your house. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I hear lots of noises lately.
Okay, and the dimes, are you getting the dimes?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, because he's laughing about that too,
Yeah.
because every time you acknowledge him as soon as you see those, right?
Yeah.
Who's getting the ink that he's like, please don't? Does that make sense? Is somebody trying to get the ink? Were you going to get the ink? He's like, mm-mm. Did you already get the ink?
No, but I really haven't.
You haven't
plotted
booked
out.
and
Well,
stuff?
not booked yet, but I have what I want.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Was it the writing in his face or something?
It's actually his fingerprint.
His fingerprint, okay. Because I keep getting the circle on it, and was his name or the dates or something underneath it that you wanted?
Well, I'm kind of just still in the process of all that, but yes.
Okay, he's showing me script. He's like, the
Yeah.
tattoo artist is going to be like with the script, and he doesn't, I don't know if he likes the font. Just so you know, I feel like it just might be out of alignment for him. Like it's just, I don't know if he likes the script, and I'm like, listen, I rock script. And he's like, So he might be judging me with his humor, but that's okay. I'm letting it slide since he's the spirit, right? But he's like laughing about this, but he's with you all the way with it, okay? And sorry, there's something unique happening with the ashes too that he wanted to acknowledge. Is there something occurring with that? Are we putting it somewhere special, but we're holding on to a piece of it?
Yeah, necklaces as well.
Ah, there we go. Okay, so he's acknowledging that. He's excited about that. You're excited about that too, right?
Yeah, because I know there's something in the works for me.
Okay.
I was going to say, she's not supposed to know that.
Oh, whoops!
Wow, that's what happens.
Oh, my goodness.
He's letting the secrets out.
Never come here if you've got a secret, okay? It's gonna. My apologies, surprise! All of Canada's gonna know that right quick, so I'm so sorry about that.
No,
but
that's
he's
okay.
laughing.
I kind of knew.
Right? Was he always bad at keeping secrets? Because he's like, yeah, he's laughing that. Of course I would do that, right? So,
never keep a
awesome.
secret.
Was that supposed to be Christmas too? Okay. Oh my my goodness, I feel terrible. Well, surprise. So just know he walks with you both, and he's excited. He's like loving the shift in everybody, because I feel as though we have the hope that you talked about, but your hope is rippling into others, if that makes sense. It is as though it's just kind of expanding and giving other people hope that it's okay to walk forward. It's okay to get up every day, and it's okay to feel joy now and not feel the guilt with it, because that's what he misses most. He wants everybody laughing. He wants the fun. He wants the music. He wants everybody connecting, right? Like, he wants you in the garage a little bit more, he says. Are you avoiding it because that's like his space, but you want to go there, but you're like, I don't want to go there because it feels awkward that you're not there, but he's like, I'm there?
Well, it was kind of our place.
Well, he's still there. He loves it, right? So he says, don't move too much.
Cleaning it up.
He has systems. He likes everything the way it was in there, but everything else you're welcome to kind of
Do whatever.
Yeah. Right? And did you guys get that stuff fixed on the vehicle yet?
Yes.
There's a ball joint, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you got that fixed, because he's acknowledging the ball joint, and he's saying this the gear stick that your son's kind of going a little more gentle, but he does get rammy on those like non-ice days. Does that make sense? Okay. And the brake pads, did those get done too?
No.
Okay, so just acknowledge the back brake pads. Those are wearing down, and he's avoiding doing them. So as soon as you can, get those done as well.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let him know. Everybody knows now. Does that make sense as well?
It does, and my son he wasn't too happy about being rammy.
Yeah,
I
well,
told him, but
it's awkward,
he
right? How do you tell him? You're driving the car too hard. That's my baby, right?
That's
So,
right. It is his baby. That is his car.
right, he
Yes.
wants that to extend
Yeah.
and continue, because that's a piece of his soul.
That's a him. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you so much for receiving
you.
that.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Well, it's great to be back, Laurie.
I'm so happy to be here, Opie.
You know, it's kind of amazing now that we've gone through all the pieces of my live audience read. Did you enjoy being a part of that experience?
It was really incredible to be part of that and to see you working and see you channeling. But I do have to ask, how is it determined who comes through? There were so many people in one room.
Yeah, it was a little overwhelming. I have to say, it's a very different process than having a one person sit in front of me. So there was an audience of 150 people. And I think every person there probably had at least 50 souls connected to them. So you can imagine how overwhelming that is to step into that energy and be able to clear myself and all of a sudden receive somebody. So it is very overwhelming. The first couple are always kind of less strength connection for me. They're kind of clearing out some of the energetical junk, which is normal process for me. Strong souls will stand forward first, and then I find the people that need the messages the most to empower their journey will step forward following that.
Whoever needs it the most is who's going to come through.
Yes, that's something I really love about the group read dynamic is the power shift you can provide in a short experience with somebody. With that being said, there's a lot of things that happen in my body. So all of a sudden, I try to have a process with spirit. I will try to get them to visually show themselves to me, give unique characteristics about their personality. Then we will try and bring forward some pieces of their transition, which is always the hardest part for me because I'm feeling it. So during one of the connection points during the audience read, I remember my throat closing off and the chest, the oxygen in my lungs started kind of decompressing. I had a hard time communicating and sharing it. Or if somebody has experienced, an impact by a knife or something, I will feel that. So it gets a little overwhelming for the fact that you all of a sudden have to recognize what is this incredible pain that's shooting through my body, and then trying to communicate it in an appropriate manner, and then trying to shift through it.
In a way, you're really relying on the audience because you're just expressing what you're experiencing.
Yes, and I can't move it until somebody acknowledges it. So that's the interesting part about connecting, is a lot of times they'll bring forward information that's very significant, and if I can't communicate it in a way that somebody's able to receive it, they keep making me experience it until we can move on the other side of it.
So one question I have is, what happens when you have one person coming through and then somebody else is also identifying with that information?
It was very interesting because this is called piggybacking. This is a very real thing, and it's very interesting because there was actually a few different reads that I was talking to somebody, and other people were standing up in the audience because it was so specifically connected to them as well. So the thing is, once somebody acknowledges it, my energy connection is connected to them. So that's why I continue discussing the communication with them. But I also want people to know that the pieces that are said that resonate to them can still be for them. Their loved ones can still come through and be delivering that message for them, and I don't want them to close it off. It was interesting because one of the communications around a dog that came through that didn't get shared on the show, but this individual had a dog come through, and another lady had her exact same breed and dog die the same way. And then all of a sudden, this individual shifted into the father stuff. Well, this individual had a father on the other side too, and came and asked me about that after. And I said, you know, I want you to hold on to that. I want you to hold on to the pieces that feel connected to you.
When it feels like the information is connecting, that's called piggybacking then.
Yes.
And so it really is connecting with them as well.
It really is.
Wow.
And you know, I think the best part about audience reads is that everybody gets healing. Everybody gets that validating piece of, my loved one is okay on the other side. They are with me during my journey. They are supporting me in my path, and they do hear the communication that I share with them.
Wow. Do you have any really memorable moments that come through?
Yes, I really loved, there was one spirit of a son that transitioned, and that was really special for me because my previous platform read was the first time this spirit came forward.
Oh, they came through both times.
They came through both times because they were such a strong soul. And it was interesting because the mother shared with me after, I said, "Okay, Mama," something like that. And she knew immediately the way I said it, that was her son. And that's how spirit comes through me. They will get me to say things and communicate themselves through me, and I don't even know. So sometimes I use words that they would never be in my vocabulary. And for a fact, he made me use lit, which is not something that this gal says.
I remember that. Oh,
right? So
yeah.
it was really beautiful to see the progress, the transition, the other side, because when I first connected, I mean, there was a lot to dissect there. And then the second time, it was just so much to celebrate.
Wow.
And Spirit really wanted that.
So that first platform read, when Spirit came through, there was a lot of healing that took place in between.
Yes, so much healing, and I couldn't be more proud of that incredible family. That's so beautiful.
Wow.
And then the next one that was really beautiful as well for me was the beautiful soul that recently lost her husband, and the sister was there as well. That was pretty special for me because I had recently had a one-on-one experience with the spouse that recently lost her husband. And she came to me at a time that she was just crippled in grief. I mean, this poor soul, if I could have hugged her any tighter, I would have. And to see her stand up in the audience, just no baggage connected to what I had first connected to her from, was just so beautiful. I was overwhelmed with it. And the way he had just recently transitioned, the way he came through so strong for her and his sister in an audience. I mean, it takes so much energy for Spirit to do that, but to be able to do that twice when he just recently transitioned was just, I was so elated with joy for them all, for those beautiful connection points.
Wow.
And his sense of humor kept coming through with the way he does not like to keep secrets.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, as you know, in the little clip there, we did divulge her Christmas gift, which I felt terrible about. So I hope Santa can surprise her again. Yeah, so it was a really incredible experience, but if you notice, I have to focus very strongly on the connection, and I have to build that momentum to be able to provide that message that that person can receive.
There's so much happening all at the same time.
Yes.
So much to go through.
What was your favorite part of it?
Yeah, there were so many incredible pieces, but I really resonated with the woman and her grandfather with the wood pieces.
Yes, that was really beautiful too. What a
Yeah.
gift. And unexpected, which is the best.
Yes, yes.
So Laurie, if you or anybody else want to explore developing your intuition, want to explore understanding connection with Spirit, the exciting part is that Opie's Connection has just launched an intuitive development course. So you in your home can explore exercises, information, videos, empowerment of understanding how you connect to your intuition, how you receive connection from Spirit, and really develop and expand that.
So you're giving us an opportunity to develop our own abilities that are inside of all of us.
Yes, which I love. So if you want to explore that,
I'm very
please go to
excited.
my website, www.opconnection.ca.
That is exciting. Thank you for sharing this with us.
Laurie, it has been incredible to walk this journey with you and to be able to share pieces of my soul with you. But I want to thank you for following, sharing, and trusting in me in your journey. It is nothing that I love more in this life to be able to share my passion, my work with you, and I'm forever grateful. I can't do a day of my work without souls coming and trusting me, so I thank you for trusting me to hold space in your path. And I hope we can connect again.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today.